Okay, we're in Parashat Vayislach. We've jumped ahead to the middle of Bereshit, and this is the end of the Bereshit, actually. Next mitzvah, we're already being done with the whole Chumash.
Wow.
First Chumash goes fast.
What
What
happened to the rest of the Lech Lecha? You guys finished it?
There's only one mitzvah in Lech Lecha. We finished it last week.
No Hegit? The Kol Makom B'Kol Zman?
Yeah, we finished that last week.
Okay. Anyway, I'm okay. I read it already anyway, so yeah, fine. I wasn't prepared now for this one, but okay.
Even better.
Gid Hanashe. So this is actually a mysterious mitzvah, as we'll see, because since when do we make a mitzvah out of
actually I did read this one,
an event, an incident? We'll see if there's some explanations here. Who wants to read?
I want to ask a question first.
Yeah, absolutely.
The word Gid.
Yes.
Is it linked to?
Good question.
Because it might have Gad, as in goat or whatever. Hagadya.
That's Gidi.
That's Gadi. Yeah, it's Gadi, but it's still the Gimel Daled.
Okay, that wasn't what I thought you were asking, but it is a good. But that's even a better question.
I'll answer the question. Answer my question.
Your question's even better than what I thought you were asking. Is the Gid is Gidi related to Gid? Not that I know of, but it could be.
When I first looked at this in the Hebrew,
this is Gidi, and here's Gid.
Without knowing what was coming up.
Okay.
Without knowing what was coming up, my immediate thing was. You're saying about a lamb or something.
Not boiling a kid in its mother's milk.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was, but I got as far as Gid. Yeah, that's why I said that.
God, Dudi Gudenu.
What does Gadi mean? Because a lot of people God when you get the name Gadi. I doubt it means vain. That's why.
Well,
God is the one of the tribal.
Yeah, but Gadi.
Right. But what does his name mean? When God is born, right? Leah says, Ba God.
Right, it was sort of like
my it's
isn't it a traitor or something like that?
No, that's Bagad as one word. She says Ba God, my God has come. It's like a I don't know if it's a reward or my penitence or.
So Gadi is like a reward.
Gadi is the same as God.
That's a name. Yeah, it's a name. That's something in a name. That's why, because it's the same spelling.
It's like a good fortune.
It's the same spelling as Gudi or Gudi. Gudi. It's the same spelling. That's why.
Right. But
yeah.
I don't know the answer to this one. Yeah.
I just thought again because it's like the sinew, maybe it's linked to the animal again. I just wondered if there's some link there somehow. I don't know. That's just where it was going.
The Gid and the God.
So what question do you think I was asking?
Oh, I thought you were asking what exactly is Gid, and I thought it was such a good question because.
No, I was going to ask that next. That's my next question.
Actually, in different stages of Hebrew, it means different things, and it means a plethora of things if you add them all up. So Gid in the Torah seems to mean a ligament or a tendon. When we talk about Gid Hanashe, it's a specific tendon in the cow's hind legs that has control of basically
half the sciatica, right?
Is it? Oh, it's a nerve. Is it sciatica?
What's that with the back, isn't it?
Well, I mean it's just one that goes down the back, right? Is it? I can't look it up.
Can't look it up. Yeah, it might be. It might be a nerve. So there are all sorts of things that are called Gid. If you look in Chod Shchita about what parts of the animal you have to check. So there's something called Tzomat Gidim and chickens that's often checked around the knees of the chicken, and those are tendons. Sometimes Gid refers to the male genitalia. Sometimes it refers to nerves or ligaments. So it's kind of a catch-all for these stringy bits.
This is a specific.
But then, Gid, it says Gid Hanashe. That makes it Hanashe. That makes it a particular type of Gid.
Oh, that's one particular one. That's a particular Gid that's in the hind leg. Yeah. That one we know how to identify. We have a sword for which one it is. Yeah, but the term Gid in general has a number.
Gid, depending on how it's used, affects what it.
Right.
It's a type of like sinew almost.
Yeah, so in modern Hebrew, we say Gid. It means a tendon. It's a different word for ligament. Ritzua is a ligament. Ritzua has a number of uses, but in anatomy, it's a ligament. And nerves are asabim, so they're all differentiated in modern Hebrew, but obviously you need medical terms and whatnot. But in sort of rabbinical Hebrew, they all get lumped together. So Gid Hanashe. Abram, you want to read?
Okay. Shalol Chol Gid Hanashe. Yishlach Yaakov, which I found kind of this interesting, is that it's talking about the parsha of Yishlach, but I was trying to figure out with the Yishlach Yaakov, with Yaakov, because I was, in my, I told you before that I started making up my own stuff. So I didn't realize, when I started trying to read it, that this is actually referring to the whole parsha is called Yishlach Yaakov.
Right. Yeah, we mentioned it before that there are a lot of parshiyot that have like a long name that is sometimes used in certain sources, and we're used to the short name.
Right.
Like sometimes they'll say Parashat Behalotchat Anirot.
Okay.
Right. Parashat Boel Parot. They'll like use a slightly longer phrase than just the one word.
Just to confuse us.
Yeah, pretty much. It also could be a differentiation issue that the phrase, the word Vaishlach appears in a lot of different places.
But interesting, it doesn't say, how come it doesn't say like the parsha? We're supposed to know that? When we're reading, like it says, Vayishlach Yaakov, Yesh Ba Mitzvah.
But it depends, because my book here doesn't have
mine
that.
also does.
It's just a heading.
But those could have been added later.
Oh, Parsha Vayishlach. Yeah, but the top. But
mine doesn't. Mine here starts.
Oh, yeah, right. That's true. Parsha Vayishlach.
Yeah, and then
but then it says Vayishlach Yaakov. Maybe it's just
I think the Parashat Vaishlach is probably added by the editors. It wasn't
I think if it was written in English or written like it was a little bit more.
You would have quotes around it or in italics.
Well, no, you'd have dot.
Yeah.
It's
not here at all. Here goes straight to Yesh Ba.
That's what I got. Yesh Ba. Okay. So it's
a
different. Okay. So it depends on how it's written, but it's kind of like. Starting off the sentence of the parsha itself, and then it starts to explain it. Yeah. So I would say it'd be Vayishlach.
I would put it in quotes maybe.
Okay. Yesh ba mitzvah lo ta'aseh achat. Okay, so it says in Vayishlach, in Parshat Vayishlach, okay, and it says that there's a mitzvah, which is a negative mitzvah, one negative mitzvah, and he azarat Gid Hanashe, and this is what is achzara? It's like the it can't be the eating of it.
Azhara.
Yeah. To be to be warned.
Yeah.
Warned.
It's a warning. So there's the word azhara.
Yeah.
Is actually a halachic concept, which means the mention of something being usher. Okay.
Usher.
Yeah. Azhara. I'm not sure if there's a Kamatz Katan. And of course, the word that everybody knows in modern Hebrew is zirut, watch out, right?
Right.
And lehizaher, this is nifal. But azhara, this form with an aleph at the beginning, okay? We know that from the sirens, azaka, right? Avtacha. There are a lot of words like that. The aleph gives it additional meaning, gives it an additional particular meaning, and it's just a noun form. But the word azhara specifically in halachic context means the spot where the Torah told you that this is asr.
Okay, so this is a halachic concept word.
Yeah. Okay. This is an important concept to know.
Okay.
And the long form of it is En manishim elim kein mazhirim. That you can't be punished unless you've been warned ahead of time.
Oh, this is that warning for punishment.
Right.
Okay.
So anytime the Torah says a punishment for something, it has to have said somewhere else that thing is forbidden.
Ah.
So this is where it's forbidden.
Okay. So he as harad Gid Hanashe, and this is a warning, which is saying it's forbidden. The Gid Hanashe is forbidden. Shene'amar Bereshit Lamed Gimel Lamed Bet. Al Kein Lo Yachlu Bnei Yisrael et Gid Hanashe. And it says that right here, it says it's stated in Bereshit in chapter 32 and chapter 33 and 32. That's kind of weird.
No, it's chapter
Yeah.
32,
Yeah.
verse 32.
Oh, okay. Chapter verse 32. It says Al Kain such that you don't eat this. Bnei Yisrael doesn't eat this Gid Hanashe. Hi lo.
Now, I just want you to reread the word
What's that?
lo yochlu. You said yachlu.
Oh, lo yochlu. Okay.
Yochlu.
Lo
There's
yochlu.
no vav there.
Okay, lo yochlu. So it says it's such that they don't eat this. Bnei Yisrael doesn't eat the Gid Hanashe. V'hai lo yochlu. Lo ne'amar al derech sipur. So it says and high lo is some kind of
Betting term.
No, this is like one-
It's
this is-
like when you're playing against a casino, high low.
that's right. This is one of these terms that are used in this type of Hebrew, right?
Right, so actually, hi is Aramaic.
Right.
Hi means this in Aramaic, and it's something that's commonly used in the Gemara and all sorts of post-Talmudic sources. And Sefer Chinuch, even though he's trying to write those in Hebrew, it just kind of came out, right? There are certain things that
Isn't it-
Talmudic scholars are so accustomed to using that it just kind of, even he's writing in Hebrew, it's like, you know,
Well, you find this in these types of writings a lot.
yeah,
Right?
there are all sorts of words
In
from
the
Aramaic that they'll
The
use.
storybooks that
It's not the Aramaic.
too, right?
From his point of view, it's just colloquial slang.
It's not slang.
Or
It's
colloquialism.
it's
It's a
the
colloquialism.
rabbinical. It's right part of the rabbinical
Yeah, but
vernacular.
words become into society which, I know I was thinking, in the UK, chutzpah is a word everyone uses nowadays, like America.
Well, what is
America's a chutzpah.
Chutzpah?
Yeah.
That's an English word over there in England?
I never forget the advertising campaign run by one of the main newspapers in the UK was no chutzpah in the Independent. Was that their habit? As in we don't have we just
That's
do it.
funny.
So I'm trying to say, so using the word chutzpah was how they're using Yiddish. They're not using Yiddish. They're using a word which, in society at the time,
Yeah, it's been
at that time,
incorporated.
it's incorporated. So it's no longer.
Yeah, but here these are words that have been incorporated into the literature, into literary language.
It
Not
wouldn't have been used in modern in everyday language.
nobody was speaking Hebrew,
No, it stays,
so it was irrelevant.
So it says high-low, it's not to confuse with, one fun Jew, right? It sounds like a Chinese name. High-low.
Hello.
High-low.
I'm just thinking. I don't think of a card game.
So it says high-low, yo lu, lo nemar al derech sipor. It says this is not, the eating isn't stated by the way of a story.
No, okay, I have to stop you here.
Yeah.
V'hai lo yochlu, meaning the phrase that it says in the
Lo,
pasuk
yeah.
lo yochlu, that's a quote.
Mm-hmm.
This quote lo yochlu from the pasuk doesn't mean lo ne'amar al derech sipur. It's not just telling you what occurred, that they decided not to eat it because of this incident.
Okay, so how would I know that it's like that? Because like I just read it in the
Yeah.
I say this is how I come up with my.
Well,
idea.
you have to, you just have to pay attention to the context, right? You have to read, okay, we're now talking about this pasuk. Al kain lo yochlu b'nei Yisrael Gid Hanashe. So now we're going to be talking about this pasuk. The next thing he says is v'hai lo yochlu lo ne'amar el al derech sipur, right?
So that's you'd be the high.
It's just a contextual thing.
Low ne'amar.
Also, if you try to read it not as a quote, it doesn't make any sense.
That's what That's why I read it, and then that's why it confuses me. So so it's because they're not putting like these parentheses and things in here. You have to know how to do
Yep.
it. So high low yochlu. Okay. So
V'hai.
yeah, right. V'hai lo yochlu.
So
Lo ne'amar al derech sipor. It's not stated in a story form.
It's not just relating the events.
Oh, that's a better way to say it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
Lo ne'amar.
It's
It's not said in the way of the story.
It's not
It's
just.
not
said
lo
as a story.
ne'amar, meaning it's not being told to us.
Yeah, it's not being said as a story.
Because we need to know what happened.
Right. Literally, it's like it's not stated in the way of a story.
Right. It's not said as a story.
It's not as a story. So what am I at here? Kolomar, and that's for example.
No, which is to say.
Which is to say. So kolomar b'nei she era.
Era is even more correct.
Kolomar she era devar ze ba'av. And it says that's said because
You can't stop in the middle of the phrase, though.
Yeah, I don't know what era is.
Okay.
I will that
Era.
which I willed what? Devar ze ba'av. Okay. I can make up some stuff what I think that means. That's I'm good at that.
No need. Era, the more familiar word that relates to this is Irua, right?
Event?
Yeah, an event. So Ira is something happened,
Okay.
occurred, right? Ira is occurred.
Uh-huh.
So era davar, so a thing occurred.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Yerua was with an I in.
No.
Okay.
It has an I on the end.
No, on the front of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
So this is PL. You don't really use it, the definitive at all, but Ye'era, you can say Me'ora is also an occurrence. Me'ora is an occurrence. Yeah.
Okay, so it didn't.
This is a very irregular, obviously, verb because it has an aleph at the beginning and I in the end. It has it's kind of funny to sound out, but
What did you say? It's very regular?
irregular.
Irregular.
Because there's an aleph at the beginning and an ayin at the end.
You wouldn't see that.
It doesn't have any hard. It only has the race as a hard consonant, and so it's kind of it's a tricky one.
Okay, so but what's with Ba'av? Like in the month of Av or?
No, the father.
Oh.
You have to read the whole phrase in order to understand. Okay? כלומר, מפני שאירע דבר זה באב, נמנעים הבנים מלאכול אותו הגיד, אלא, right, the whole thing is an aside saying this isn't, right? It's not al derech sipur. It's not just in order to tell us
A story.
the historical events, meaning, klomar, meaning because this thing happened to the father, the children, that would be us, the ancestors, right?
Would be like
The ancestors, so the descendants, refrain from eating it. Ela, but the real reason is that we're told about this, Azharat Hashem, the real intent of lo yuchlu is Azharat Hashem Yitbarach, shelo yuchlu.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So we quoted the relevant parak, pasuk, sorry, pasuk, where it says we don't eat the sinew, the thigh, whatever it is, thigh sinew, the Gid Hanashe. But in the Torah, that immediately follows the fact that we're told that Yaakov was injured in the thigh. So the Torah does say he was injured and therefore we don't eat the sinew.
Oh, but that's what makes it.
And yet here it's saying that's not what happens at all. The story is by the by. I mean, how do we know that it's only? Because I think my question is, this makes it very clear that it's nothing to do with the story. The story is just an example. But in the Torah, you read it and it comes across as though, if you read it Pashat anyway, Pashat in the Torah.
No, he doesn't mean that it's not related.
It isn't related, but he's saying it's not a story. And we don't. You just said because
just the lo yuchlu. He's just saying lo yuchlu is not part of the story.
No, it's lo yuchlu. But the story is Yaakov fights the angel and wrestles the angel all night long. At the end of the night, he's injured his back area of his leg, and we're told, and because of that, we don't eat the That's how it's written.
Yeah.
And he's saying here, oh, that story, that's not the reason why.
No, what he's saying is that it's not a continuation of the story. Al kei lo yochlu. It wasn't at that moment that they decided to stop eating it. The reason that we don't eat it now, the Torah is saying it from its perspective of being after the fact. It's interjection into the story, basically. That the reason we don't eat it is because the reason that it's usher. It's not an historical fact. At that point, they stopped. Yeah, but that's how the Torah phrases it: is al kein lo yochlu, meaning the reason that we don't eat it is because this happened, not that they started.
Yeah.
They decided not to eat it right then when it happened.
No, but that's my point. My point being exactly that. The Torah seems to link the two, and he's trying to decouple.
No. He's not.
He's
again. He's just saying it wasn't. That's not part of the story. That's the Torah saying. You see, you remember this is the story, and it's like the narrator saying, and this is why we don't do it today, folks. It's not a continuation of the story.
Let's just
it's the narrative breaking the fourth wall.
I know what you're saying, but I think I don't know. When I read it,
when you
it
read
feels
it,
like he's working hard to disconnect.
But it's
whereas
not disconnect.
The Peshat is very clearly connected. One happened, then the other happened. He was hurt, and therefore they will eat. That's the flow.
I think it says, and therefore.
As soon as it says yochlu,
let's just get the pasuk.
It's not a flow of the story. The whole story is in past tense, right?
Yeah, we're not losing.
Yeah. There are no parts of the story that are clearly a part of the story and that are seen out in the future tense.
Vayishlach. Okay, Vayishlach.
It's basically the pasuk is saying, therefore later on, Bnei Israel don't refrain from eating.
That's still linking it.
It's linking it, but his point is not that they're not linked. He's not trying to unlink them. He's trying to say this wasn't part of the story.
Okay, I'm reading it. Okay, fine.
That's what he said.
That's exactly it. Derek Sipur. Hello, Derek Sipur.
Okay, so this is the Sipur.
You got the verse there in your book.
What's that?
Verse 32.
I think it's right here, no?
Chapter 32, verse 33, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, 31. Oh yeah, it says right here, 31. Okay, so what it goes? ויקרא יעקב שם במקום פניאל, וראיתי אלוקים פנים אל פנים, ותהי נציל נפשי, ויזרח לו השמש כאשר עבר את פנואל, והוא צולע על ירחו. Okay, therefore, lo yochlu, here it is. Lo yochlu b'nei Yisrael et Gid Hanashe asher al kain
Why?
asher al kaf hayarech ad hayom hazeh ki nega b'kav yerech Yaakov b'Gid Hanashe. So this is the story.
He's not saying it's not because of the event. He's saying it's not part of the story.
Well, he's kind of...
I've got it. I'm there now. I see what you're saying.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, and I read it as saying the story is not why we don't eat the sinew. There's another reason why.
No. He's just saying the lo yochlu
Okay, I understand the words.
is not part of the story.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. I've got it, sorry.
Again, those quotation marks.
Yeah, no, but I've got it now. I flicked, because my head was focused slightly differently. I had a slightly different understanding around it, that's all. I thought you were saying the reason we don't eat the lo yochlu, is not because of the story with the fire, it's some other reason why. That's what I thought he was saying.
Okay.
Well, I think you have reason. No, but you have reason to think that. I mean, it's because
no, but from here I misunderstood the translation slightly. It's very slight nuance, really important nuance.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just leave this for reference while we're here.
Sure.
That. Okay. So what it says is that so what are we learning from this exactly? Is this?
Well, that's not what we don't learn. We did this. Is just this is a book of rules.
This is called Sefer Achinuch. Sefer Achinuch. So the question is okay? So first of all, it is a question. When you, at least it was always a question for me when I read that pasuk. It seemed kind of an odd occurrence, and era, and that okay, so he gets into this fight with this angel, and then he gets hurt, and so all of a sudden we don't need the Gid Hanashe because of this, according to what it's therefore Bnei Yisrael doesn't eat, from that point on. Okay, and you're thinking, okay, that brings already questions already. So what is Sefer Chinuch trying to teach us here in terms of, what are we supposed to learn by
Halacha.
this?
Just halacha.
Well, he goes beyond halacha, but we have to read the next paragraph for that.
Oh, okay.
So far, he hasn't addressed your question.
Oh, okay.
So far, he's just saying this pasuk. You might think
He's setting it up.
he's so far he's just said this is the makor. This is the source we have for this to be usher. How do I know that this is the source and this is not just part of a story? Right? Just because Abraham Avinu did something doesn't mean that we have to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
There are all sorts of things. Akedat Yitzchak. We don't do Akedat today.
we just Akaday, chicken, and soon to be some lamb, right?
Yeah.
Zrat Hashem.
Oh, I didn't take out the freezer.
Okay. So misharshe mitzvot zu.
Shorshei.
Shorish.
Oh, but shorsh.
It's a kamatz,
Oh, misharshe.
but it's Kamatz Katan. So it sounds like a cholam.
Oh, so
Shorshei.
misharshe.
Like Shorish.
Yes, it is Shorsh.
Misharshe was so it's from the root of this mitzvah. Kadei shetiyeh remez liyisrael. She'al came yistablu.
Read that again.
She'af al pi she'yisbilu. Tzarot rabot bagalut miyad ha'amim miyad ha'esav. So it says that kadei, in order that it will be so that it's kadei, that in order, kadei is in order. Like a Kedei Shetiev is a remes, so it will be that remes for Israel that even Shafalpi, even though Sheyis Sablu, that he suffered, that there was some suffering here.
They will suffer.
So they will suffer tzarot, these kind of like bad tidings, a lot of these bad things, bigalut. So we're gonna have like this suffer in the galut, miyad ha'amim from the nations. The hand of the nations, Miyad b'nei Esav, from the hand of Esav. You bituchim shelo yodu. So there's an assurance that we're not going to be lost. The Am Yisrael is not going to be lost. Eila le'olam ya'amod zar'am ushmam. That we're going to be we're the Am Netzach, we're the forever. We're going to be established forever. The seed. And the name, and their name, our name. V'yavo lehem goel v'yigalam miyad sar. And this goel, a redeemer, is going to come and redeem us from the hand of this
enemy.
These enemies. This
Tsar is an enemy.
Oh, Tsar is an enemy.
Yeah.
Okay, from the enemies.
Sarah is a misfortune, but Tsar is an enemy.
Okay.
So uvizar ram tamid inyan ze.
Can you say that first word again?
Uvzar ram
Zocha.
zocha.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's another Kamatz Katan. Yeah.
Okay, so you got to do the Ashkenazi thing.
No, it's not O. It's O. It's really like a cholam.
How do you know that?
How do you know that?
Yeah.
Well,
if I was
How
going to
does
do
he
that,
know it? Or how do
in
you know it?
modern Hebrew, would I do that? Or
yeah. This isn't a word that you probably see in modern Hebrew, but if you did, you would read it that way. So this is one of those where we say we take the definitive, these core,
Right.
and we we chop off the laminate, right? We just lop that off there.
Yep.
So then we have a noun, remembering.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Now, in Pa'al, where they all look like this, Zechor, right? When you put a suffix on it, like in this case, it's Zochram, so it becomes the vowels flip, and instead of being zchoram, it becomes zochram. So it's a Kamatz Katan here, but it could equally just put a choram for pronunciation's sake, and then this is equivalent to zechor. I guess it's not. It's zochram. It's their shalahem. Okay, this is equivalent. Something to just be aware of, that the vowels shift whenever you add a suffix on.
Whenever you add a what?
The onyi, when you have a suffix, when you have some other letter attached to the end, in order to give it a possessive nature or to be the object, that vav, the o sound is going to move back, and when you see that in the Torah all the time. Ulovdo, right? We have in Ulovdo b'chol vavchem b'chol nafshechem, right?
Ulovdo?
Ulovdo. In Kriyat Shema.
You would say labdo.
No.
Oh, that's what I've been saying.
So that's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. That's not even a noun.
Right.
That's also as a verb. It does the same thing.
Okay.
Instead of lizkor you say lizochram. Leovdo. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's lavodoto.
So we were Eila le'olam yamod b'zaram b'shmam. Yavo lehem voel, got that. We zoch ram. Tamid inyan ze al yad ha-mitzvah שתהיה לזיכרון, לזיכרון, ויעמדו ואמונתם ובצדקתם לעולם.
ובצדקתם. It's a shva nach.
לעולם. So we got
ובצדקתם.
ובצדקתם. All right, so let's go back here. We got the miyad, so and in their and they're always remembered in the essence.
No, when they remember. Uv zochram, when they remember.
Oh, when they remembered, when they always remembered, right?
Tamid.
In Yanze, this aspect, al yedei, according to the mitzvah, that
right, that's through. By way of the mitzvah.
By way of the mitzvah, that is to remember, that you will remember.
The mitzvah will be a reminder.
The mitzvah will be a reminder.
Right, that's how they're going to always remember this.
So the mitzvah will be a reminder. Yamdu b'emunotam, that they're gonna bring up their faith.
They will.
Or establish their faith.
They'll be,
establish their faith, the faith.
Steadfast in their faith.
Okay, that's a good word. Be steadfast in their faith and in their righteousness forever. Okay.
So just to be clear, just to put it in simple language, summarising that paragraph, the purpose of this particular restriction, this lotase, is to help
remind us of the story.
Yeah,
No, that's what he's saying. And then what is the story?
The story is our enemies always come for us, and Hashem will be there, and we remember it because we don't eat the sinew.
Right. We might get hurt, but we'll never be defeated.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
According to this.
So Beremezehu lefi she'oto malach שנלחם עם יעקב אבינו, שבא בקבלה, give some source, שהיה סורו של עשיו. סורו של עשיו, רצה לעקרו ליעקב מן העולם.
לעוקרו. Again, we have the Kamatz Katan.
לעוקרו, again.
Yeah, לעובדו. לעוקרו.
leokro leYaakov min haolam hu v'zaro lo yucholo. Giving the same source in the Kabbalah.
Okay, so you want to go? You want to explain that bit of that part of the sentence?
What?
But
see, ro.
It's a long sentence. Let's break it up. So go back and explain.
Yad ha'yarach. Okay. So it says, let's go back to the beginning. Then there's like a hint. There's this hint that according that to Oto, there's a hint about the same Malach that was fighting with Yaakov.
Okay,
Avinu.
not the same, but that very one, that particular one.
Oh, okay, that particular it was I would say that same Malach. That particular Malach. Okay, and we find in the Kabbalah, and there's a source that it looks like George Soros got in this thing.
Okay, so Kabbalah,
What's
Kabbalah in the sources is not what we call Kabbalah today.
oh, this is the we're talking about.
Kabbalah means Masoret. So he's referring to a medrash. The reference here is to a medrash that Chachamim said that malach, who was that, the identity of that malach. That's from the medrash. So that's he says Baba Kabbalah. He means it was passed down to us.
I remember that. It's something to do with Kabbalah means it's like meaning
to receive Kabbalah.
Yeah.
Not the Kabbalah of the Zohar.
Right.
Right. And is this Bereshit Rabbah? This little.
Yeah. It's on this parsha.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what referring to that as the Kabbalah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So embrace it. Okay.
So that's important to remember. Kabbalah, the concept, meaning Masoret, meaning something that was passed down from a Chachamim. It doesn't usually refer to what we call Kabbalah.
But I think that this probably predated the Zohar, maybe, no?
What's this?
The safe no? Okay. So it said that the
That look of like,
what's that?
No.
Linus, I'm dangerous. I
No, yeah.
come with some good stuff.
It's like, what have I been teaching you? What have I taught you? I taught you nothing.
So far, nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
No lamb for you. Even you don't get to smoke it. All right, so Shehaya Saro. So this is, and that he was like a prince.
Yeah, the Sar.
So he was like a prince of Esav.
Well, not a prince of Esav. The Sar, which you're correct in translating as prince or minister, is a term in the context of angels, which refers to an angel who is the representative in Shemaim of a particular nation.
Oh, okay. So he was like, okay.
He was the Esav,
the nation of angels angel.
Right. The guardian angel of that nation.
Ratzal le'akro le'Yaakov okro le'Yaakov min ha'olam. And he wanted to uproot Yaakov from the world.
Right, take him out of the world.
Right? Who Zaro, and he and his seed. V'lo yuchlolo, and Yacholo, and he couldn't overcome him.
Right. So the word Yachol is a funny word, a funny verb. We don't have. I don't know if there are any other verbs like this, because it actually probably originally wasn't even a verb, but it was verbicized.
It was what?
Verbicized.
Verbicized?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
official term for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
It was turned into a verb, but in the Torah we only see the word appear this way. It probably is an adjective originally, meaning competent or capable, right? And in nowadays you can use a verb. You could use, like in the future tense, yuchal, uchal, yachal. So the question is to have a past tense, and there are two opinions. One is the past and the future and the present are the exact same thing. I guess there are three opinions. And then you would write it the same way, or you would write without the vav, like this, but it sounds the same. And there are people who say yachal in modern Hebrew, but there's actually no such word. That's an incorrect usage. Yachal. So people say yachol, yacholti, right? But that's been verbicized, and we're not going to actually see that usage in our text, as far as I know. So just set it straight around.
Okay. It says v'tzara b'nigiat hayerach, and in his pain.
So C-R-O, this is a verb. Litzaer.
Oh, he was. Oh, yeah. So he was upset. Sorry.
Oh, he caused him pain.
Oh, he caused him pain. That he caused pain by touching his yerech, his thigh. V'chein zera Esav mitzaer lezar Yaakov, and such that the seed of Esav is causing pain to the seed of Yaakov.
Right. V'chein means similarly.
Oh,
So in a similar fashion, just the way that it plays out in the story, it's actually a foreshadowing of the rest of history.
Ul basof tiyeh lehem teshua mehem, and in the end, there will be a teshua. Is that something to do with like a redemption?
Yeah.
So they'll be redeemed from him. Ukamo shematzino sham. It tells you also over there in Bereshit Rabab. Ba'av she'zarcha lo hashemesh le'raputo v'nosham min hatzar ken yizrach lo hashemesh shel Mashiach.
Lani.
Hmm?
You said
Did I mess up?
Yizrach lo.
Oh, v'yizrach
Lani.
lo. Ken yizrach lo.
Got
Did I
Lani,
say
yeah.
something
You might
wrong?
have a different version.
Okay,
It
go
says,
ahead.
mine says Lanu also.
Huh?
Got Lani here.
Lanu. Okay, mine says lo.
Okay, I know.
Okay.
It says Hashem shel Mashiach v'yir pa'enu mitzareinu v'yigalenu b'mhera b'yameinu amen. So it says that the Father, the Av, in the
Moshe Matzino.
what? Oh, okay. The
Moshe
Moshe, we
Matzino.
found that in the Father that shined in the sun with it. What?
Yeah, the sun rose at that point.
Oh,
in the
right.
story.
That in the Father that the sun rose, and it healed him,
Yeah.
and healed him. And what the no saving was like the subject of the pain. No sa.
No shot. No, he was redeemed. He was saved.
So we have a lot of verb forms here. So it says no sa minasa. So he was redeemed from the pain, such that Yizrach lo Hashem shel Mashiach, and it's like the such that this will be the like the shining of the sun of the Mashiach, and it will and the Mashiach's going to heal us from our pain and redeem us quickly in our day. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, brother. So, okay. So
That was good. You're good. You're on the ball. Okay, let's figure out what these verbs are about. Matzino. What is the shorish of the word matzino?
limso.
This is a trick question. How do you know that? Where's the aleph?
What's the olive?
Yeah.
It's one of those disappearing olives.
Good. Very good. How do you know this stuff? So,
I went to
this
Old
is
Pond.
actually, yeah, but they don't teach this in Old Bond because this doesn't exist in modern Hebrew.
Oh. I don't know how I know that.
So we have a few words in rabbinical Hebrew that the verb ends in an aleph. Also the verb likro. Okay? Karita vishanita. There's this I don't know where is that? I wrote that. There's a phrase there's a story in the Gemara passage about a person being a Talmid Chacham. What does it mean to be a Talmid Chacham? Karita v'shanita v'shimashta Talmidei Chachamim. What does it mean to be someone, a student, right, of the Torah? You have to read, and you have to lishnot, which means to learn Mishnah. Karita, likro, means to learn Mikra. This is a complete off. We're going completely off topic here, okay? But I like this. I like people to know this. Mikra is what?
That's the
Tanakh.
Tanakh, yeah.
And then we say likro Mikra. So in the Gemara and in a lot of the sources we're going to see, likro means to read psukim. It means to read the written word, which is the Tanakh. Lishnot, Shanita, means to learn Mishnah. That's where the word Mishnah comes from, the word Lishnot, to recite.
So I say, how can the word mean to learn Mishnah come before the word for Mishnah?
That's the word Mishnah comes from, right?
You know what I mean? When you're done something, it's like,
Yeah.
learn something.
Right.
I'm going to, I thought we're going to learn it, we're going to call it something, and we're going to find out, give it.
Yeah, then make a verb of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, but again, getting back to the topic, so there might be other examples. I can't think of anything at the moment, but matzah and kara in the Tanakh and in modern Hebrew, we would say karata, matzata, karanu, matzanu. In rabbinical Hebrew, oftentimes they'll say matzinu and karinu, karita. The aleph will fall away, and they'll treat it as if it was a hey instead of an aleph when it's being conjugated. So matzino is also a halachic term, meaning it's not something that we've encountered in the text.
Lo matzano.
Lo matzino.
Lo matzino.
Okay? Lo matzino, meaning we don't have a source for it. We don't have a source that says this. Lo matzino, that this thing is prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no source for it saying such a thing. Nosha. We want to do nosha. Nosha comes from the shoresh yesha. Yud shin ayin, which is a double irregular because it has a yud at the beginning and ayin at the end. So the Hoshia et Amecha, right? Hoshia et Amecha is hifil. This is what hifil looks like when you have a yud at the beginning. It becomes a vav. And nosha is the nifal of the same word. The yud disappears completely, and so that's the passive form.
We're talking about what Isa is redeem?
Which one? Hoshia?
No, the shorish.
This is a shoresh. This is not a word. This is just a collection of letters.
Oh, it doesn't have a meaning?
Shoresh isn't a meaning. It's not a word. Yud Shinayin, use it to make verbs.
But there's a theme to the words.
What is the
How do you spell Yishai?
Yishai? Yud Shin Yud.
Oh, okay. That was just because of the, Ben Yishai.
Yeah. So Yeshua we saw here is a noun. Okay. Yeshua, and if you take away the hey,
But I thought
then
that
you get the name of
I thought
Yashka.
the
That's
shorish
Yashka's
meant-
name.
I thought the shorish meant something. Like it was.
The shorish has like an essential meaning,
Like,
but it doesn't have a specific.
like livchor, the shorish bachar means choose.
Right, but the shorish is not bachar. Bachar is a past tense singular masculine. The shorish is bet chet rish.
Right, love is like yahav.
Yahav, it's aleph, hey, bet.
No, yud, hey,
That's
bet.
a different word. That's a different shorish. So you.
Yeah, but that's love.
Probably not. They might be related.
No, it is.
You heard a drush about it, and now you're convinced.
I am.
But the yud, hey, vav has different nouns and verbs.
It means give.
You make out of it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But ahav,
Yeah.
they're related. They seem to be related.
Okay.
But don't say the same thing. So yud shin ayin You can make a word out of it, but that's not the same as saying it's the shorsh. This is just the shorsh. It doesn't get vowels. Yesha, right, which is the, wow, that came out really crooked.
What do you mean?
Yeah, upside down, go back. The, right, is the nik, which is what we call Yudah Shomron and Azat, right? Yesha. Yesha is Saba.
Let's
What's
see.
better than Kamatz? Yesha is like Yeshua. Yeah. So you see in a lot of in Tehillim, Yesha appears a lot in Tehillim. Yishacha or Riv Yish'i. So it's like a salvation kind of thing. And
So I didn't understand what we just read.
right, you explained it to us pretty well. Which part didn't you understand?
No, I'm just trying to. I guess we should finish it because I'm not quite
Like the
clear
overview,
about what
the high
what
level.
happened here. I read it, but I didn't understand it. In terms of like.
That's further in terms of summary. Almost, we said before, the previous paragraph was about how things might not go away, might end up hurt, but Hashem will be there for us. It's all we're saying, and in fact, not just. It's not just the other nations. It's the descendants of Esav will be a pain in our side, particular, and this is the Mashiach will come and put them away and get rid of them.
What I'd like to do is read it over again, because we're working on it, right?
Yeah.
So as we're working on it, I kind of got more of a 60,000 view of what was going on here, but not a clear reading, reading that to comprehend, the whole thing. So can we do that?
You want to read through it again?
Well, maybe we should finish it and then go through.
Okay.
Let's go through it again.
I'll say 2 more sentences about this.
Yeah.
And then later on we can read through it again. Essentially what he's saying is that the story, why are we given a mitzvah to remind us of this
It's not
particular
really mitzvah,
story?
it's a lot to say around to say.
It's a little dusty, yeah. But why we have a behavior that we're tying to this historical event? We have all sorts of stories that the Avot went through, and we don't have any mitzvot that came out of them. Why is this one so pertinent and so important?
It's a big
because this is encapsulating that very short story encapsulates basically all of history.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
That way. Yeah, it looks like it's a very deep, we've got
all of history where there's all of history is a struggle between
they hated us. The
Yeah.
Jews,
and
they hated us. We fought back. We got hurt, but we'll prevail.
Well, let's finish up the few lines and then go over in a clearer reading.
Okay.
And then so we have to make this understood because I think this is a really very cool thing we're learning here. All right. So Dina mitzvah zo mahu hagid ha'asur. So the din of the judgments, the dinay of the mitzvah, we know what that is.
The laws.
Right. So it says is in the gid. It's forbidden. The gid is
No, mahu hagidas, or which one is it? What is?
Which sin is prohibited?
Which particular one is the one that is prohibited?
Okay. Mahu agid asur. So which particular one is it? Hachitut she'anu chayavim lachatet acharav. So this, I guess, this chitut is a certain type. I don't know what is this?
So chitut means to dig in.
Is that the nikur?
What's called nikur.
Nikur.
So that's the right to get in there and clean out all the bits of it.
So
that's part of the
halachot. So what is that? How does that work? The chitut and the taking out of it that we take out. We are obligated to take out the harav, the one after.
No, after it, meaning to root it out. To root out all the parts.
The root that we root out, we're off to root out the one after it. I didn't get that.
So the chatet acharav means there are certain verbs that have a direct object, right? You say like lakachti oto.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some verbs don't take direct object. They have what's called an indirect object. They use other forms or connecting words to indicate what what the verb is being acted, what the act is being done on. So like if you're writing, you don't write the pencil, right? I'm writing a story, but what about the pencil?
Mm-hmm.
The marker. So I'm writing with it, right? That would be bit. Right, kotev batush. Now, be is connecting the verb with the object. It's the indirect object. In this case, אני מחטט אחרי הגid. I'm digging it out. But why is it, but אחרי we have in other cases, like I'm following him, right? Following him, אני עוקב אחריו.
So in other words, it's something that just says that it's just saying that we're pulling it out.
Yeah, but it's not just the main piece. You have to go and get all the little,
Dig it out.
all the little branches and right, all the little fragments.
החיטוט שאנו חייבים לחבר אחריו. So, it means like really dig it out. ובעי זו בהמה נוהג.
The word
And then what? This is something, בעי זו בהמה נוהג. And I'm lost here. One thing about this, is it the custom or it's like you're in control of with like...
No, which animal is it pertinent to? Noheg in the sense of a mitzvah noheget, right? This mitzvah is relevant.
Is it coming from minhag or
Yeah, it's all the same verb. It's all the same shorish.
noheg? So it's...
Or you-
when
or
I
you
think of
say-
noheg, I think of driving, you know?
That's true.
Nahag.
That's true. That's also the same word. But noheg also means to behave. So, like some people, let's think of something that some people and other people don't. Oh, do you say, right, if you're going to say, do you do mayim achronim, right? Do you do mayim achronim? Lo, ani lo noheg. It's not my custom.
Okay.
I'm not accustomed to it. So also here, the Sefer Chinuch uses this word to indicate when a mitzvah, where a mitzvah is pertinent and where is it. Be'ezel.
So noheg would be
Be'ena.
pertinent.
Right.
So it says, so ba'ezel, right. Such, wait a minute, that's a different word, right? Ezel.
Yes, in this version of Hebrew, ezo gets broken up into two
Broken
words.
up. Okay, so be'ezel behema noheg. So, now see, that makes sense now. So which is what the animal we're really talking about here, right? Umi ne'aman al nikur yoter roteha mivarim be'perek zayin mechulin. So, and mi ne'aman al, and who is I guess the one that we can trust to take it out?
Right. Who can you rely on?
Who you can rely on to take it out? And these additional details are explained in Perek Zayin Mechulin. So we're giving us a source if you want to know. Noheg and mitzvah zo b'kol makom b'kol zman. And this particular mitzvah it's in place, every place and every time. And
All places,
all places, all time.
Meaning in Chutz La'aretz, in Israel, all times, during time of Beit HaMikdash, after that Beit HaMikdash.
V'zichrim u'v'nikevot, v'zicharim v'nikevot, men and women are obligated in this. As v'ha'over עליה ואכל גיד אחד, אפילו הוא פחות מכזית או שאכל כזית מגיד, הנשה גדול לוקה. Okay, so it says, and the person who's like, over on this on this mitzvah here. Transgresses the mitzvah and eats a gid, one of these gids, even if it's like less
one gid, meaning he ate the whole thing.
He one gid, even if it's like less than a katzayit, or that he ate a katzayit from the gig of a nashe of a big one,
a large gid, meaning there are two ways to be transgressed fully, and to be worthy of punishment.
Yeah.
Either you eat the whole thing, no matter how big it is, even if it's less than a kazayit, or you eat a kazayit of a larger one, or...
In other words, if you're going to do it, do it.
No, it's not. If you're going to do it, do it. But in order to be punished, the last word, lokeh,
Yeah, wait, what is that word?
that means you get lashes.
Okay.
Because the point being, if you ate less than a kazayit of a larger gid,
In other words,
you wouldn't be subject to...
doesn't matter how
You're not liable
much
to
it
it.
doesn't matter how much you eat, you're going to eat.
No, it does,
No, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you eat less than a kazayit
If you
of
ate
a
half
larger...
of one, and it wasn't a kazayit, then what you did was usher, but you can't get lashes for it.
Wait a minute, Hannah says, "Efilu hu pachot," says, "Ha'ovev za'achal lagid achad, efilu hu pachot mi kazayit, or she'achal kazayit, again, I say, gadol, look up." You're saying he doesn't? I guess
Again,
he does.
he says there are two circumstances
Yeah,
in which you get lashes.
correct.
Either you eat one Gid Hanashe, I mean the whole thing,
Right.
no matter how big it is,
Yeah,
or you eat a kazayit,
right.
which doesn't have to be a whole thing.
Okay. So the minimum
But if
amount...
you eat less than a kazayit,
Yeah,
and it was only half of the Gid,
yeah.
you didn't eat the whole Gid, and you didn't eat a kazayit,
And you got that from there?
then you're
Okay,
not going to
then-
be, nobody can give you corporal punishment.
Wait a minute, I didn't get that from
You get that from virtue fact, it's not covered.
Corporal, but it says, "Efilu hu pachot mi kazayit."
Right, but it's ochel echad,
Oh,
meaning
okay.
the whole thing.
She'echol, wait a minute.
Ochel echad,
Achal echad gid.
the whole unit.
So, if you eat a whole gid,
Yeah.
even if it's less than
Then
a
a
kazayit,
kazayit, or
or you eat
the
a
kazayit
kazayit
gid.
from a bigger gid,
So you get hit, you get lashes. So
but
I'm
if
not
you,
saying-
if you eat less than a kazayit of a bigger gid,
Oh, you're inferring that?
that's the bit.
I didn't infer
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
in almost all cases, kazayit is what's called, when the Torah says eating, it means kazayit. That's how Chachamim understood it, and that's how we apply it. That whenever we have a mitzvah to eat something or to not eat something, if you don't eat a kazayit, it doesn't count as eating. So if you're not allowed to eat it and you eat less than a kazayit, you didn't eat it. If you have to eat it and you eat less than a kazayit, you didn't eat it.
That applies in
I don't-
more
wait a minute.
simply applies to fast days. If you have to
Right.
eat, you do it in a
Right.
manner where you consume less kazayit every 9 minutes.
Right, so
And
it
then
never
you're
adds
not
up to a
being
kazayit.
Yes,
I understand. You said even if it's like one whole gid that's less than the kazayit.
Right.
that's
Right,
really
you got
good.
it.
A
Or
small
it's like
animal.
you ate a kazayit and if I'm getting nashe
Yeah.
gadol. Got it. Okay, I understand that. Okay.
That's it. That's it. We're done here.
Okay. Something to review here so we can get this.
Now you want to go back and reread?
Yeah, I wanted this. I didn't get this. This
yeah.
one paragraph. Mishor shel mitzvah zu kadei she'tiyeh remez liYisrael. Shaf al pi she'yistablu tzarot rabot begalud miyad ha'amim umiyad b'nei Esav yiyu bituchim shelo yavdu. Okay, so this is something. There's a connection to this mitzvah. The shorish of this mitzvah. Right? This
He
is
says
the root of
shorish,
this mitzvah.
he
It
means
says in
the
order
reason
to,
behind it.
to give a remez Yisrael that even though that we suffer this, in the galut so much, and from the nations and from the hand of Esav, that we could be assured that it's not, we're not going to be lost. Rather, rather, we're going to be Amanetzach here. And it says, "V'yavo lehem goel," that Mashiach's coming, and to get us out of this whole thing. V'zikranam tamid inyan zeh al yedei mitzvah shetiyeh v'zochron. Zochram. So I'm thinking that now this is telling us is this particular little mitzvah is going to give us to help us to remember this.
Help us keep the faith. Well, first of all,
Is that what
every
it's
time, yeah, because every time you say, "Oh, I have to take out the ghee before I can cut up this meat and cook
Yeah.
it," why am I doing this? Why this particular Gid, right? And then you're
You,
reminded of the story.
you remember you're applying it to the Hofischer Jew of 1,000 years ago who was doing the shechita, not us today who go to the
And
butchers.
then it's also Yom
and it's
Tov
about
and
for us.
Tov. It's okay, and then it's gonna reassure. No, Yom Tov. You said we did a different one for that. What was it?
They will hold steadfast.
Yom Tov. Hold steadfast, Amuna. No, you take it off.
I've got it up, yeah.
Let's see.